Hi, in this video we're going to cover section 1.7, which is modeling with equations. And what that means is really we're going to get into word problems. So first I want to take time to practice writing expressions into math. So the first example that I have is, how do you write the sum of three consecutive integers? So what does it mean to be consecutive integers? So think about some examples of consecutive integers. So 3, 4, 5 comes to mind right away to me. Can you think of other ones? So other examples of consecutive integers will be something like 20, 20, 21, 22. So those are consecutive. So they differ by 1. If you go with negative numbers, right, I could do -5, -4, -3. So those are consecutive integers. And because it's 3, I'm listing them in groups of 3. So here when it says the sum of three consecutive integers, if you let n be the first integer, what's the next one? Right, the next one is they only differ by 1. So n plus 1 and n plus 2 are the other consecutive ones. So if I want to write the sum of three consecutive integers, and I will say s for the sum is equal to n, and then we're going to add them up, n plus 1 plus n plus 2. So my final expression will be s is equal to 3n plus 3. So this will be an expression for the sum of three consecutive integers. Our second example is the perimeter of a rectangle if it is 5 centimeters longer than it is wide. Anytime that you're given a shape, a geometric shape, I like to draw a picture. And I know it tells me it's 5 centimeters longer than it is wide. So if usually you have the width and the length, now this is telling me that it's 5 centimeters longer than it is wide. So whatever the width is, the length is by more. So this is going to be 5 plus w, or w plus 5. And so the perimeter, so we have to think, what does perimeter mean? Perimeter means around the figure, so we're going to add up all the sides. So if this is w, the opposite side is w. If the bottom side here is w plus 5, then the opposite side is also w plus 5. So the perimeter, and if you remember a formula for perimeter, you can use that, is 2l plus 2w, or you can just start adding them up. P for perimeter, so it will be 2 of the length, so 2w plus 5 plus 2 of the width, so plus 2w. And so simplifying this, you'll get 2w plus 10 plus 2w. So the perimeter is 4w plus 10. So this will be the expression for the perimeter of this particular rectangle, right, where the length is 5 centimeters longer than it is wide. So as the length changes, your expression will change as well. In this third example, the interest obtained after 1 year on an investment earning 3% per year. So how do you earn interest? Usually you have to multiply the interest times the amount invested, right? So I'm going to say the interest earned is your amount, the amount invested, times the interest rate as a percent. Interest rate, sorry, as a decimal. So here where I'm going to say I is equal to the interest earned. The amount invested, we don't know what it is. So let's call it X. So let X be the amount invested. And the interest rate as a decimal is 3%. So as a decimal, that's 0.03. So the interest earned is going to be the amount invested times the interest rate as a percent. So it'll be 0.03 times X. So that will be our interest. In part D, the last one here, the amount of money if you have X dimes and 8 nickels. So how would you count this money? If you knew the number of dimes, you would just see how many dimes you have. But here we have to put in how much each coin is worth. So the amount, we don't know what it is going to be the amount in, so I'm going to say total amount. So the total amount is the amount in dimes plus the amount in nickels. So how much is a dime worth? Is 10 cents. How much is a nickel worth? Is 5 cents. So my total amount is going to be the amount in dimes. We don't know how many dimes we have, so we're going to say X dimes. So is the number of dimes times how much is worth. So a dime is worth 10 cents, so it's 10 cents times the number of dimes that I have, and plus the amount in nickels. So the amount of nickels is I have 8 nickels, and each nickel is worth 5 cents. And so that's what this expression will be. Of course, you can multiply this out to simplify it. So how do you put it together into a word problem? So once it's, notice that in an expression, there's nothing here that says the amount of money if you have X dimes and 8 nickels is $1.70. So you don't have that. Or here, if the perimeter of a rectangle is, I'm just going to make up a number, 52 centimeters, then what's the length and what's the width? So if you're given an amount for something, like the sum of the consecutive integers is 75, 5 the integers. So you need to be given the is, something is a particular amount for you to create an equation. So in this particular problem, I have the sum of 3 consecutive integers is 75. Find the integers. So you have to be explicitly told to find something, and then you'll know that you'll have an equation, not just an expression. So from the example above, we can take our expression that we knew. The sum of 3 consecutive integers was n plus n plus 1 plus n plus 2. And looking up above, we can see that this was 3n plus 3. Right now, we're being very specifically told that we want the sum, that the sum is 75. So that means that I can replace this s with 75. So 75 is going to equal 3n plus 3. And now I solve. So subtract 3 from both sides. 75 minus 3 is 72. So I'm going to have 72 is equal to 3n. And then when you divide that by 3, what do we get? So divide both sides by 3, and I'm able to get n all by itself. So n is 24. Now it says find the integers, plural. So how many integers am I finding? I'm finding 3 integers. And they have to be consecutive. So we just found 24. So because I know that they have to be consecutive, I can say the integers are 24, that's the first one, and then the consecutive of 24 is 25, and the consecutive of 25 is 26. Now how would you check it? Make sure that they add up to 75. Right, what's 24 plus 25 plus 26? And that should be 75. And we can do it fairly quickly over here. 24 plus 26 is 50, and then add the 25, add the 25 and you get 75. We'll do more examples with another word problem. So I have this one, more examples. A pasture is twice as long as it is wide. Its area is 115,200 square feet. How wide is the pasture? Try that. I will record that as a second video.